Well, Joe Cunningham, thanks for coming to Channel 7 News Studio. I really appreciate you being here.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
I was hoping that you could introduce yourself and just give us a little bit of your background.
Yeah, so I live in West Ashley, in Charleston. Got a 4-year-old boy who's going to school and going through all the same issues that most South Carolinians face right now, which is our school system, our roads, inflation, our crime rate. And I jumped into the political fray back in 2017, 2018, because I thought that our country needed less career politicians and more people who actually want to make an impact and make a difference. And I served one term in Congress and now running for governor because I believe that our state, we're a state of winners, on the field, on the court. And, we have the best people in the country, but we also have the worst politicians, because that's the only reason to explain why we have the worst roads in the country, why our schools are at the bottom, why our teacher pay is at the bottom, our healthcare, our jobs, all these things. And you look at career politicians like Governor McMaster, people have been doing this for almost half a century, and you realize that these people are not moving on like they should. Our founding fathers never intended for people to make a career out of politics, but people like him have made it one. So I'm running for governor to provide our state with a new vision, new leadership, new blood, and new ideas.
And what was it originally that brought you into politics?
I feel like just the divisiveness that's existed in our political system over the last several years, and it's been building and building and building. And who's to blame for that? I think the blame rests with the people who have made a living out of it. Like Henry McMaster, who's been a politician literally longer than I've been alive. And I believe they have to take responsibility for it. And that's why I want term limits and age limits on politicians. Because I don't think that it should be a career. I don't think people should serve for 30, 40, 50 years. And I think that most of South Carolina feels the exact same way.
You guys are coming in as the underdogs in a largely Republican state. What are some of the tactics that you've been using or found successful to get them to vote or excited about voting in this election?
Well, look, I think what we're seeing in South Carolina is similar to what you see in other parts of the country. Maybe a conservative state, but it's not an extremist state. But the fact is, we're being led by extremist politicians. Henry McMaster, who wants to ban all abortions with no exceptions for rape, incest, or the life of the mother. Our country and our state, particularly, are being led by the extremes. And most of us are fairly moderate. In Congress, I was ranked the 4th most bipartisan member in Congress, the 4th most effective. 435 members. I told Nancy Pelosi that I would not support her for Speaker of the House, and I voted against her. I was the first Democrat to come out to say that Joe Biden shouldn't run for re-election. I know what it's like to push back against people in my own party. Henry McMaster has never done that. And so I believe that folks want an independent thinker. People want a leader that will represent the people and not a party. And that's what our campaign has been about. And we've put forth ideas of surrounding a message of freedom. Give women the freedom to control their own bodies. That's something Henry McMaster doesn't agree with. Give people the freedom by legalizing marijuana, legalizing sports betting, regulating, taxing that, and then use that money to pay our teachers more and fix our roads. Moving to eliminate the state income tax. You earn that money, you should keep more of that in your own pocket. So that message of freedom, I think, rings across the aisle, whether it be Democratic or Republican.
And you're finding that people are receptive to this, even possibly without McMaster making errors. Has he left an opening?
I'll put it to you this way. We live in a state where we fired football coaches after a couple of losing seasons. And Henry McMaster has been a politician longer than I've been alive, almost half a century. And you pull up his record, and we got the highest crime rate we've ever had. Because he cares more about selling guns and getting guns in the hands of even people who shouldn't have them, as opposed to taking care of our kids, keeping our community safe. He's got political appointments for judges that are, letting violent criminals reoffend and letting them back out on the street. He's not keeping our state safe. the worst roads in America. We have teacher pay at the bottom, healthcare at the bottom. So after his long record of losing, he's coming to us asking for a 4-year extension onto his contract. And I think voters are smarter than that. They can look at that and be like, this is what you've given us after being in politics for almost half a century, is being at the bottom of all these different categories. It's time for a new vision. It's time for new leadership. It's time for new blood. And that's what we're running on as well, is new ideas.
Can you talk a little about your college tour? What is that, and what does that involve?
Well, we're at Wofford today, and we're going all across the state. And tomorrow we're going to be at Clemson and Furman, and it's engaging young voters. Yesterday we're at Coastal Carolina, and it's engaging people where they are. And sometimes that's whatever building they're at, or business, or college, or university. But sometimes it's on different mediums, whether it be TikTok or Twitter or Facebook, Instagram. And because it's these young voters who are going to have to inherit this mess that Henry McMaster has created. I mean, again, this guy's been in politics for almost 50 years, and he's made this mess. Our roads are a mess. Our crime's a mess. And this new generation is going to have to pick up the pieces for it. And so we're reminding them that there's a lot at stake, and we're engaging them and reminding them why they should get out and vote. Not just going out there and shaming them, telling them that they should vote, but we're giving them a reason to go out and vote. And that's because of our new ideas we're proposing and what South Carolina can be. Because everyone agrees we're a great state. Everyone agrees that we have the best people in the entire country. But everyone also agrees we have the worst politicians too. And, if our elected officials would rise to meet the level of people they represent, South Carolina's potential would be unstoppable. But we're not. Unfortunately, we're reelecting leaders like Henry McMaster, who, again, lead us to the bottom of every single category that we should be at the top of.
Can you think of anything in your past where you've something that's happened or changed directions, where you've started out one way but ended up another way because of that experience?
When I drop my son off at school and the door opens, I see a brand new teacher there. Just like any parent watching now, your heart kind of sinks a little bit, because you see a new face, a new teacher, and you think all those bonds and all those things that the last teacher learned about my kid are all of a sudden gone, and we're hitting the reset button. We're starting from scratch. And so with our teachers leaving in droves, these aren't just numbers. These are actual people. And my oldest brother is a special ed teacher. It's his 20th year this year. And he says he's done. He's done after this year. And we're losing so many good teachers, very, very good teachers, because we don't have any leadership. And I want a 10% raise across the board for teachers. And I want to get the starting salary up to $50,000 a year. And we have a plan to do that by legalizing marijuana, legalizing sports betting, giving people the freedom to do those things. And that's what our campaign's been about, is new ideas. It's been a contrast between our new ideas and McMaster's no ideas. We're crisscrossing the state, going to where people are, talking to voters, and folks are excited, and they want, like I said, they want their freedoms. And this assault on our personal freedoms that Governor McMaster has waged, especially for women, if he wants full government control over women's health care. I want everybody to imagine how scary that is, and how if the government, politicians can tell a woman what to do with her own body, there's no balance to it. Government can tell or say or do anything. And so we're putting a stop to it, and we're reminding folks that the only thing standing in the way of full government control over women's bodies is my veto pen. And again, it's time for a new generation of leadership. It's time for new blood. It's time for a new vision. And that's what we're providing voters.
Great. Thanks for coming, Joe.
Encourage everyone to go to joeforsouthcarolina.com, learn more about our campaign, what we're fighting for.